Welcome back to Thinksipwrite, and today's episode is going to be a little interesting.
So I came up with this concept. It goes through my mind, certain things, and I want to know why certain parts of our body are there. Like, why do we have certain things?
Yeah, just like things that you think are useless that actually have a purpose or may not have a purpose.
I gotta tell you, this time around, I think I actually did a little more writing than you
did a lot of research. I just glanced over your notes.
I only did 5 things, but I feel like it was actually interesting to me. And some of the things I was actually laughing out loud reading them.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was really funny.
I actually, before we get started, I just wanted to say a thank you to all our watchers. We had one of the networks that we use other than YouTube is Viva Video. We had over 9,500 views on our Genie in a Bottle
Cheers
episode.
to that.
Cheers.
I wonder why though. I guess that was an interesting subject to some
I guess.
to
I mean,
people.
out of all the subjects, that was the one that really took.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There.
Okay, well, I'll start off with a real easy one. Actually, I had 2 people actually request that we mention these parts.
Okay.
They both work at techlinetrauma.com.
Mm-hmm.
So Lisa and Dan suggested these, and Lisa said, "What are eyebrows for?" And it's actually
Isn't it to prevent?
it's prevent sweat getting in your eyes.
Right.
Where the eyelashes are pretty obvious, where it's to keep dust out of your eyes. But
and bacteria. Right.
your eyebrows are to prevent sweat. Now, but most hair on the human body, other than protecting your skin, is not really meant for. It has no real use other than protecting clogged pores and things like that.
If we look at evolution,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're supposedly. I mean, it is pretty obvious, but evolving from an ape, from a right.
There's
monkey.
different functions that we used to have. Even if you don't believe that, but there's different
That's what I'm
functions
saying.
that we used to have that we no longer have.
Right. Because if you look, like, the hair on their body, like, they're very hairy, but you could see the similarities of having...
Well, here's a prime example, wisdom teeth, right? We no longer, I mean, I've had all 4 of mine taken out. We no longer have them. Actually, kids nowadays are actually being born without them.
It's weird.
Because we no longer need them. Because back when we were eating raw food...
What is making that
well,
happen?
we no longer use them because we chew cooked food now, but hundreds of years ago we didn't. We chewed raw food, so everything was being chewed in the back, including bone and gristle and raw meat. So you needed those extra
right
things to chew.
But my question is how does our body know that you don't need to develop that anymore? Like, your future little spawns don't need to have that.
Well,
how?
I guess I don't know. I guess it's just adaptation. Which is a whole other subject altogether. But it's actually pretty interesting to see that the human body does that. I mean, look at pigments and skins. Darker skinned people were in areas where there was more sunlight and less shade, and lighter skinned people were either covered up in colder areas or in wooded areas.
Right. That's interesting.
It is.
Okay.
So what do you got? What do you got?
So my thing is the nose. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need 2 nostrils? Like, why couldn't we just have
a big hole there?
one? Well, I mean, why not? Like, why couldn't it just be one hole? Like, why do we need that? Right? No, think about it. Think about that for a minute. Okay. The reason why is actually, it's like a dog. Like, we have senses in different sides.
Mm-hmm.
Right where the septa, is in the back. Exactly, in the back. Actually, we actually have 2 noses in one, they say. Did you know that?
I did actually know this.
I thought that was really interesting, though. I didn't know that.
One, if I remember correctly, doesn't it have to do with, we used to be able to smell, like, pheromones?
Right, well, that's what they say, like, with a dog. Like, you could tell with a dog, especially a hunting dog, they use different senses. I mean, you could see the cop dogs and everything. They have different smells, like, they can smell different things. The same thing goes for humans, too.
So I guess dates back to before technology, when we needed to hunt and survive for our own food, so you needed to be able to smell this.
Right.
That's actually really
and they actually say, too, like, when you're about to get sick or something, sometimes, like, your one side seems a little more like stuffed up than the other, and then all of a sudden that one's not stuffed, this one's stuffed,
and you blow a snot bubble
or something like that. But they say like that's when you get sick, like you know, your senses are. I just thought that was really interesting, but still, to me, it's still why couldn't it just be one?
Yeah,
you know,
that's just weird. I mean that's weird.
It's just the way we're designed, but like if you think about it, you know, I don't
know. The other one that Dan had asked me about was uvula in the back of your throat. For anybody that doesn't know, that's the
little hangy ball,
a hangy thing in the back of the throat.
Your it's like a little doorbell back there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just took it to another place.
Actually, a lot of people have that surgically removed now because people that have sleep apnea or snore, they actually have it surgically removed.
Yeah, but don't you have to like...
No,
there's nothing there for it?
It doesn't assist in swallowing.
How about singing?
Nobody actually... no. They believe that it might actually help. It might have helped at one time to help pronounce certain words or certain sounds.
Well, if you go, ah, like you see it going back and forth.
Right, it vibrates, but it doesn't actually do anything. That's all your vocal cords and your mouth.
Are there people without them?
Yes, people now get them removed.
Just
people that have problems sleeping or snoring actually
removed.
Surgically have it removed.
Like there's no tiny
there
little
is nothing there, and you would never notice it. I mean, look, talking, you don't ever notice it unless somebody opens their mouth really wide.
Weird.
It's strange, but I guess
I totally get that.
So.
Eyes.
Mm-hmm. Why do we have 2 eyes?
It's obvious, right?
Oh, you mean like because spiders have like
8 eyes,
16 eyes or something like that.
Don't they have 8?
They have 8 legs.
They do have 16.
A fly has like a ton of eyes.
Or whatever it is. But for us as humans, yes, we need to obviously to see around and create different like pictures and stuff like that, right?
Right, but why not have like,
one big eye?
Birds and horses have their eyes on the side of their head so they can see forward and back.
They can't see straight forward.
They can't see straight in front of them.
Right.
But they have
we can't see like we can't like
I've seen some people.
We can't see like you know like our eyeballs can't, you know, unless we turn our head, right? Mm-hmm. But why can't we just have one big eyeball? Like, what was that in Futurama, right? What was her name? She had
Leela.
one. Yeah, she had one big eye. She was an alien, but she had one big eye.
I would think one big eye would really be annoying.
Or Mike Wazowski, too. He had one big eye. You would save less on contacts, right? You would just have one big contact.
What happens if you get poked in the eye and then you can't see out of it? Then you're just blind. It's not conducive to vision at all.
Right.
The appendix. Now, this is a question most people have. I had my appendix taken out on my 21st birthday. Mm-hmm.
Too much drinking.
No, that wasn't what caused it. However, that caused complications in surgery. However, so the appendix used to be an organ for when we would primarily eat plant-based food, because our body doesn't naturally process just plant-based food. The cellulose is hard to break down, so the appendix actually used to help to break that down. There are actually kids born today without appendix. However, they do believe...
I just don't understand how is that we evolved? Like, is that what it is? Like, we evolve and we start losing things?
Again, it's adaptation, and it just your body adapts to what it's doing.
Right.
Now,
but that's what's being
passed
to your kids then, right?
And when you're an infant, you know, it still does process some of the foods that you're trying to take in, but once you get past a certain age, it no longer has a function. So, you know, it's just kind of one of those things. It's there.
Right.
So.
Toes. I do not like feet to begin with. Okay.
What do you mean toes? You have to have toes.
I don't like feet. Like, I really don't like feet. I've said this forever and ever, and people that have known me forever know that I think that we should just have nubs. Like, we should have just had nubs, and then the girls could get, like we would just go and get, like, our nubs dipped in paint like to paint our nubs, you know, but obviously we need...
So wait, you're talking about dipping the entire nub of a toe in nail polish?
It wouldn't be a toe, it would just be a nub.
Just be a nub.
Yeah. I think
get,
feet are ugly.
But I get what you're saying.
I just don't like feet. I don't care.
If
you can be like the hottest person in the world, but your feet, like just feet, ew. My son's the same way. He like doesn't like feet either. But we need our toes because 75% of the time, our toes are actually the ones that are on the like ground, creating balance for us.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine a ballerina without toes?
But toes, though, like why do we need? Couldn't we just have like flat, just like feet?
Just round stumps.
Yeah. Like not even like...
Could you imagine trying to put a shoe on a round stump?
Just like a Barbie doll foot. You know?
But you can't... It's for balance.
But the toe, like... Do you know what I mean? Like toes. It's weird. I don't know. I just, you know... I don't know why... I get the reason why, but I just... Why couldn't they just be like doll feet? Like just... You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think about nipples?
Oh my God, I can't believe you brought that. Actually, mine's going to be worse than that.
Man nipples. I mean,
yeah, why do you guys
We know why
that?
women have nipples.
Right.
Why do men have nipples? Well, do you know men can get breast cancer?
Yes. But do you know that before, like, when you're inside the stomach, before you're a man or you're actually a woman.
Right. You're not anything.
What is it?
You're sexless.
Right. But it's the estrogen.
Everybody's got an equal amount of estrogen and testosterone until it shifts and you become either male or female.
Exactly. Right.
Men's nipples can be stimulated to produce milk.
Stop it.
Men have mammary glands. They are very, very tiny and obviously not of any use, but yes, Mr. Fokker, you can
That
milk you.
is weird.
Yeah. I don't think that you could sit there and I don't know exactly how you would stimulate it. It's not something you could sit there and just, go like that and, make happen. But apparently men can produce milk from their nipples. So
that actually left me speechless because I just don't even... I can't even picture that, like, happening. Okay, since we're on that topic, butt cracks.
What about butt cracks?
Why do we need a butt crack?
What?
Wait a
minute.
First off...
What do you want? A dome with a sewage hole at the end?
Right. But, like, what's the purpose of a butt crack? What do you think the purpose is?
I would think so that, after you're done going, it covers up the flies from just flying in the
flies?
Well, think back in the day, like in caveman days. I mean, they're dumping without anything, right? So what are you going to do? You're just going to have this big dome and just a bunch of insects just flying up a hole. I mean, could you imagine?
So there is actually a man that actually was born without a butt crack. You can look that up. But basically, our butt crack is actually two separate large limbs, which are our legs. Okay, that's what creates the butt crack. And it helps us stabilize and be tall. Because if we didn't have a butt crack, how would you maneuver if you think about it? Your limbs wouldn't move a certain way.
Yeah, like even waddle.
Exactly. Like even monkeys have butt cracks.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen some monkeys with some big red holes
right,
at
but
the
some
end.
of them are very small, and look at the way they walk. Right?
Okay.
So us as human beings, we have them, and it's not a purpose for to keep flies and stuff. It's a make us walk.
Well, think about it. What happens if you have a hemorrhoid and you have no butt crack? Not that I know what a hemorrhoid feels like, but I mean, what happens if it's sitting at the bottom and it's just dangling?
It's a hemorrhoid.
And then you sit.
Your hemorrhoid's not going to go up your butt crack?
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm talking about your crack.
I know, but if you don't have one, and you're just sitting on the dome with your hole at the end.
Right.
I mean...
It's just there.
It's just there?
Yeah. But think about it. Like I get the whole concept of we need it because it makes us walk, straight and stuff. If we didn't have it, we wouldn't be able to maneuver. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my next thing is something that we don't have in common, and it's our earlobes. See, now my earlobes are detached.
Which your ears are perfect for those, like the big holes. Like if you ever wanted to get like the big holes, maybe you have ancestors that are like, from tribes.
Actually, they've traced it. Your ears are
connected.
They're not connected fully. The ears are semi-attached.
Right,
You still have earlobes, but there are some people that have just like that.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Mine are perfect.
Clint Eastwood actually has completely attached ears. So it's actually no one knows what the full-on purpose of it is,
earlobes,
other than it keeps your head warmer because of the blood flow for people that have detached earlobes. It also says that people with bigger earlobes are naturally more sexual people because it's an erogenous zone. Now, I've never been one to enjoy nibbling or anything on my ears, but I get.
Yeah, but they say that with certain other things too. Like they've said that about like noses and like stuff like that too. Like if you look back in history, they've spoken about that too.
I mean, this is just but they don't. I mean, other than why they're all different, other than warming and for erogenous purposes, there's no real reason.
Well, they just,
My question is, why the hell, when you reach 30, men, do we get these weird ear hairs that like just randomly pop up that are an inch long, and then you pull it out, and then the next day there's another one? I'm constantly having to just.
I think that just depends on your background and stuff like that.
I'm not really a hairy person.
You're not.
So I don't get it.
Does your dad have a lot of ear hair?
I don't know. I don't really stare into my dad's ears.
Well, I'm just saying, like that could, it could be genetic with ear hair. Like some women when they get old, they get the chin hair and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I think that's just a natural part of getting old too, because they say that after you die, your hair and your fingernails continue to grow.
And your ears.
And your ears.
Well, isn't it your ears? Well, isn't it your
ears just keep growing?
Isn't it your ears, your nose? Like when you start getting older, it's your ears and your nose that keep going, right? Because my grandfather, when that man had a nose, and so did my grandma. She did, and that's that's why the schnoz is here. But my mom has the tiniest little nose. Is that that doesn't make any sense? Anyway, next, neck. Like what? Okay, I get it. You need a neck to turn, right? To turn your head.
Yeah, but do you need a neck to turn your head? Can't you just couldn't you just? Oh, yeah, you need.
No, you need a neck, right? But it's a pain because we get stiff neck. It takes longer for our food to get down, right? But that's the purpose of it. It's just to
to be able to
turn,
to see.
And it has our vocal box and everything.
Yeah.
Right? So we need that. So if we didn't have that, our vocal box would probably be in our chest. But I
mean, I guess it would sound like you had your second helium balloon.
And to reach, to look over something, look at giraffes.
Yeah, I mean,
they do it because they need to reach the top of the tree.
But they also don't have arms, so they naturally have to have something to be able to reach.
But for us, if you're looking at something,
I've seen some people with T-Rex arms, so I guess they need a bigger neck to reach up a little bit.
No, but we need our necks to look over things. We don't realize how much we actually use our neck for certain things, So that's what I have. I thought they were interesting.
That's all I really have, other than tonsils. A lot of people, they used to
people get tonsils removed all the time.
They used to, not so much anymore. But
our daughter has huge tonsils.
Yeah. They're actually used. They're part of your immune system. They prevent against, any kind of certain kinds of sickness. But the problem is they get inflamed, and you end up with stuff like strep throat and tonsillitis because they can't counteract the virus or whatever it is at the time. So, So.
Interesting.
Yeah. There is one other shout out, I guess. You were on. You actually mentioned thinksipwrite. You were talking about it a little bit on Brian Duffy's thing.
Oh, Chef Brian Duffy. He's a really good friend of mine. He was on Bar Rescue and stuff like that. He has different restaurants across the country and stuff. So I was actually on his podcast called Duffified Live. You can find that on like iTunes and stuff like that. Great. I mean, it's a great little like show to just like follow, like catch up with people.
It's fun. It's a conversation piece.
Exactly. Like to get to know people. So you should check that out. I actually just did my episode with him the other day. So
that's a little cool cartoon of your face too.
I'm like, a cartoon. So it's really cool. So. Yeah, whoever does his art, I forget her name, but she's very talented with that. Mm-hmm. And also, I write for Philly Current Magazine, and that's coming out this July now. So it's a great magazine to check out. So
yeah, all the back issues are great too, and you're in a lot of them.
Yeah, I write all like the food stuff on there, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, make sure to like, share. This thing and that and
it's like comment, right? Give this a thumbs up, subscribe.
Yeah, feel free to shoot us a message and ask anything. Make sure to hashtag thinksipwrite. And other than that, have a good night and cheers.
Cheers.